All right, everybody. I'm going to talk about the thing that first. I guess it's really going to clear up a lot of things for you, and it's going to help you with your headspace. And it's probably your number one war tool when you're chasing your success. Hope everybody's having a great morning wherever you are. I know I am. It's early in the morning, and it's where I kind of like to be nowadays. So anyway, we're going to talk about the thing that little masterpiece, that your own personal Bible, and that's your journal. So one of the I guess okay, quick little story about my introduction to the journal. Especially for us guys, like for us it's like, oh, it's a diary, I don't want to touch it. So I'm gonna explain this really simply, so that you guys can understand it, and you can understand the importance of a journal / diary, whatever you want to call it. I call it a journal, and it's gonna really explain to you what it really is. So let's roll into it. So in 2000, I made a decision that if I was going to continue wrestling, that I would train with the best. If I was actually going to do it, or if I, whatever, I was going to be involved in competing in wrestling. I wanted to learn from the best. And then it was like a spark. Somebody gave me a magazine, and it was a picture of Daniel Legale, who was at that time the 1999 world champion. And so I said, hey, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with the best. I'm going out west. And so that's what I decided to do. I jumped out west, and then the next year, Daniel Legale, he won the Olympics. And so one of the things I learned from being out west and being around the Burnaby Mountain Wrestling Club, it's a world-class wrestling club. It's got, the Olympic champions, it's got world champions. They're the best of the best, really, in this arena. So I got a chance to be around Dave McKay, and Mike Jones, and I got a chance to see their system, because that's really what I really wanted to learn, right? Because my passion was to go into coaching, so I wanted to learn like the system. And one of the things that I stole from that system was a journal, and the importance of a journal. I remember reading a little piece of Daniel Legale's online journal, and then at the time, Neil Ewers, multi-time national champion, I lived with him, and I got a chance to. It's cool because when you live around high performers, you get a chance to see what makes them different. And so I got a chance to see these guys actually use the journal. And from there, we incorporated it into our programs, because of course the best of the best were using this. And then as I went through, I started to do a lot more research, and I realized from some of the top performers in anything around the world, they journalize things. And so I'm going to break down how we've taught using the journal. I guess I don't know how long we've been using it now, but the top performers use a journal. And so when we teach our athletes about the journal, we say to them, I remember my partner Frank, he always says your journal is a reflection of you. So how it looks is basically the reflection of you. So he said, yeah, you can go to the dollar store and get a little, those little ring books and whatever, but it's a reflection of you and your belief in yourself. And so here's my journal, right? This is my journal here. It's got a nice hard. It's not leather, but it looks good, and it's got it's a hardcover. It feels nice. Like when I pick this up, I know that I know genius is in here. Right? I know the value is in here, and so this is my Bible. So we tell our guys, when you get your journal, it's a reflection of you. And the very first thing we say in the journal is we tell them on the very front page. Obviously, you gotta give your name. And you kind of you state your goal, like what you're working on, your dream, right? So as you can see here, no hiding it. You know what? That's a house in Port Maria, Jamaica, right? That's really nice. Like, you see me, I like quiet, right? So that's what I like here. Quiet. Look at the ocean over there in the background. So anyway, so I tell the guys, write it. So you can write it out, like exactly what you write it out. You don't have to put a picture. I say a picture. I use a picture personally, because what I learned, and that's one of the other things in working with education, you start to really learn how the brain works, right? And so I guess I was like glaring, so I got dark there in a second. So they say it takes, for words, it takes about 6 seconds for your brain to kind of figure out what it is, and with pictures, it's like instant, because we think in pictures. So that's that's kind of what we tell the guys. Look, the very first part of your journal, who you are, your goals, and kind of and because you've set yourself a destination and you're going to be course navigating. So as far as when you're talking about that 50-year plan, this is kind of what goes into here, right? So all through these pages, you put your plan in the beginning, and now the destination that you want to get to, right? You've put that destination here, and now you're going to course navigate on a day-to-day basis through your journal. That's what it is, right? So the very first part of it, that's what you put. And then a lot of people, the journal is like, it's like anything else. You're going to build a skill with this. It's not something that, if you're never used to writing in a journal, it's going to feel awkward. You're going to be like, well, what am I writing in the journal? Well, I just told you the very first thing, that's what you're going to write. Here's the thing. It's going to go from you maybe writing, I don't know, 2 minutes in a journal to probably an hour and a half at one point. It's not, and when it gets to that point, when you're spending a lot of time in here, it's never going to feel like work. So you don't have to worry about it. So right now, if you're saying, look, like 30 seconds is all I can, my brain can't figure out what else to put in it. Okay, let me give you a daily map really quickly. So now you've put, you're going to put your 30-day or your 7-day, your goal on your very first, when you're writing it, what's your 30-day or 7-day goal, right? So in the next 30 days, here's the things I want to accomplish. The next 7 days, here's what I want to accomplish. Okay, daily, here's what I'm going to do on a day-to-day basis. And then so, for our academy, it's very, very simple. 15 minutes a day of reading, 15 minutes a day of listening to or an audio of something positive, motivated, uplifting, something that's going to make your brain grow, right? It's going to give your brain a workout, but it's going to also uplift you. Basically associating with people that because associating with people, positive, uplifting, like mentors, things like that, are not something that you do. It doesn't just come to you. You have to actually direct yourself to go and find that. And so you put that in your journal, right? So you're tracking yourself every day. Like, have I read something that's going to, give my mind a workout? Have I, this is the extra, right? Remember we went through that whole entire thing about your day, right? What your day looks like, your sleep and so forth, the education. This is a part of your education. It's a part of that extra time that you're gonna now put into this. It's very, very quick. So you get up and you can just write it really quickly in your journal. Like, what am I gonna do today? How many people I'm gonna what exactly am I going to do on a day-to-day basis? I'm going to read. I'm going to make sure I'm getting motivated and getting educated. I'm going to make sure I'm associating with the right people. And it could just be like, hey, you know what? I want to just hang out with my best friend, so and so, because I know that with this guy, like whenever I hang out with him, big things happen. We talk good ideas, and I feel good about myself after, and the positive role. Or, I'm going to make sure I spend some time with my coach, after practice or whatever something like that, or 2 minutes with my mom and my dad to just, something, right? So associating, that's a big thing. And then also to, planning your day, right? So you just write down, okay, plan my day, 10 minutes. Did I plan my day? Click, yes. Did I review my day at the end of the day? Boom. That's your journal basically becomes a checklist of the things that where you want to do and the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis to actually make it happen. Right. So, and then on top of that, you can also, as you go along, you can also do like reflections, like in my journal, like, how did I feel? How did I feel? What did I do about like particular, like you can write down, hey, today I felt I didn't feel good. I felt like crap. And here's kind of some of the results that I wanted in my day. Right. Here are the things I wanted to work on. I did them. I did whatever, blah, blah, how I felt. This is how I felt about, this is how I felt before I did it. Here's how I felt after I did it, right? And this is kind of what I found out, I felt like crap in the morning because I didn't sleep in the nighttime, and so I knew I had to go through whatever, do my 1 hour, do my 200 push-ups extra or something like that. And I did it, and you know what I felt like? I felt like as I was going through it, once I realized, once I started doing it, I felt good, felt positive. So here's what I found. Like sometimes, in order to combat your feelings, to get you to do something that you're supposed to do, you just do it anyway. And I found that you feel great about yourself after that. But you're just going to write that in your journal. So that's your journal. You plan it on a day-to-day. Remember, like you're trying to go from here to, I don't know, that's the coast of Somalia, right? You're in a ship. That's your destination. You got to navigate through it. And then as you go through, you're like, oh, geez, I'm writing my journal. I realize that, hey, you know what? It'd probably be better to take a boat than to just try to swim there. And you start to realize that as you're going through here, right? And so that's what your journal is. It's your day to day, and it's everything. Every day you got to track yourself. You got to track yourself. And then when you write it down, you can see it, and it's not in your brain anymore, right? If you got to go do something one particular day, you know, I don't know, mom asked me to go do this and this, and you write it down and you check it off. Done. Right? At the end of the day, did you do it? Yes, I did it. So that's your journal. Your journal is everything. So when we talked about, like, you've went through your day, that, you know, that other 10, 20 minutes or 20 hours that you had throughout the week extra, like, you can maximize that in here, right? So if you have any questions about the journal, right, you can always just, you know, you can always send me a direct message. I'm not going to put up my phone number out there. But if you know me, you really want to get a hold of me, and you say, look, listen, can we call? Can we talk on the phone? You know, that what you're saying makes sense. I want to kind of get a little bit more information. I want to kind of get your insights. I have some questions about, you know, like planning and orchestrating, you know, the development for my kids, you know, or can I just bounce an idea off you, and just to get your opinion on it, or, you know, your view on this particular thing. I know I've got it down, but it's always nice to get extra views. So I'm open to that. And once again, you know, I'm starting to learn a little bit more about this electronic world, and I realize that if people are liking and liking your stuff and viewing it and sharing it, it's your ability to reach more people becomes more powerful. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to like this thing. I want you to share it, because, you know, I think that, you know, things like the journal here, that's something that more parents need to know about. That, you know, it's not just like a little something that you plan on. How do you actually use it, and how important it is? So I want to be able to get that message out there. So like the video. Share it with people, and so that we can get a lot more messages out there about things like these things here that help you know, young people achieve more. Right? Awesome. Other than that, enjoy where you are, wherever you are, in any place in the world.